And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
What's good, folks? It's KnightmareFrame here with a new Warframe video, coming at you with a ridiculously overpowered Khora build. Like, this ain't fair to the bad guys. And of course, this setup will have you not worry about armor or ancient healers, as it shreds everything regardless. And also achieve red crits in the process. Consistent red crits, by the way. Her Whip Claw is going to be the main ability that I will be using, and Ensnare is to group up enemies and multiply the damage done by Whip Claw. For more information on how her abilities work, do check out my Khora guide, where I go over her abilities and how to mod her. The important thing you should know about her Whip Claw is that it scales off power, melee equip mods, combo counter, and damage modifiers. So that means you would need a stat stick. A stat stick is a melee weapon not used as a traditional melee weapon, but rather to boost the damage of the Warframe's ability. So Khora's Whip Claw is a pseudo-exalted weapon. So Rivens with bonus damage, crits, elements will be very useful to boost the damage output even more, but you don't have to use a Riven. There's several stat sticks in the game with great Riven dispositions, but that will change over time. So the best stat sticks to go for without the need of a Riven are weapons with syndicate weapon augments that boost the raw damage of the weapon. For example, Jawsword, Skana, Mire, and Dual Cleavers. And I will combine the use of a Helios with Detect Vulnerability and Gladiator mods. So let's take a look at my Khora and how I have modded her. In the aura, I have Steel Charge for the increase in melee damage by 60% and Power Strength at base.
I thought you said it also scales with power.
With the amount of modifiers you will get with this setup, base power is all you need. Just don't go under. I have max efficiency and a massive energy pool. Khora's energy pool isn't the best. With 175% efficiency, your Whip Claw will drain 6.25 energy per cast. 160% range with Stretch and Cunning Drift. Your Whip Claw will reach for 16 meters and the explosion radius will be at 8 meters. The Ensnare grab radius will be at 16 meters. You can always replace Streamline with Augur Reach for even more range. Vitality for the health. Adaptation for the defenses, as Khora can be super squishy. And finally, accumulating Whip Claw. Hitting enemies will build up your Whip Claw's damage, granting you a maximum total of 350% additive damage. And if you don't hit anything within a short period, it will start to decay. And within the Arcanes department, I am running Arcane Fury for the 120% additive melee damage when you crit, and you will be critting all the time. Energize is personal preference, but you can slot another Fury in there for more additive damage, or Arcane Avenger for even more crits. And if you want more health and defenses, you can run an Umbral setup. Now for the stat stick. I do have a Riven that grants me additional melee damage and cold, attack speed that does not affect Whip Claw at all, but you can do this without a Riven. There's probably some dude in the comments going, this build uses a Riven, so it's totally invalid. You can easily replace the Riven with the appropriate elements. Now, mind you, before I show you this build, it will look weird, but trust me, it works. And you already saw the amount of damage it does. Alright, the stance does not matter. Primed Pressure Point for the 165% melee damage and more melee damage along with cold from my Riven. Combine that with Prime Fever Strike and I have formed Viral. Drifting Contact for the combo duration. Molten Impact for heats. And now we get weird. Blood Rush. This increases our crit chance by 60% per combo multiplier. Weeping Wounds, it increases the status chance by 40% per combo multiplier. And lastly, Condition Overload, dealing 120% damage with status effects on the target. Once you build up your combo counter, the damage starts ramping up. And Weeping Wounds boosting up the status chance to proc even more elements and IPS, increasing the damage output from Condition Overload. Viral reduces the enemy's health, and Heat procs reduces the overall armor value. But there are those who would run Corrosive, Heat, or Gas. It's up to you. I prefer this setup. You're doing a lot of damage, but you won't get red crits just yet. That's why we go even further beyond. With Helios, using the Detect Vulnerability augment, it will give you a 275% damage multiplier if you attack enemies on a highlighted area. And of course, the enemies will only be highlighted if you already performed a Codex scan on them. And Whipclaw does that small explosion, so you're always hitting the highlighted areas, especially if you have Ensnare on them. And moving on to Deconstructor, all it has is the Gladiator mods working as a stat stick, boosting our crit chance with combo counters. And our Venari is there as a utility. It strips armor and heals, and also provides an additional enemy radar. And that's the monster red crit Khora setup, a very strong DPS that rivals the best, as the damage scales pretty damn good and fast, especially for those who love whipping naughty boys and girls. Alright, that has been it for me. I do hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, share, and
subscribe.
For more Warframe content, streams, and so much more, do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.
And I've been counting them.